Hey everybody, if you're watching this when you should be doing your homework, paying your bills, or spending time with your significant other, then you're a lousy person. Thanks for dropping in. Now, in front of me I have this game that's near and dear to my heart, one of my all-time favorites. Released in 1997 by Squaresoft, which is now Square Enix, Final Fantasy VII. Probably one of the most iconic games in the history of gaming. Aside from a few select others. This was the crossing roads of video game industry. This was the turning point, the shining point in history of video games. This game was not really well known for its graphics, but it was a beautiful storyline, and I want to take you on an adventure with this game. Now, I'm going to be doing a complete recording from A to Z of this game. I'm going to attempt to 100% the game. That includes all the secrets, all the hidden items, all the hidden bosses, A to Z. I'm going to do my best not to spoil anything if you've never played this game, until I spoil it during gameplay, obviously. But I hope you enjoy this. I'll try to make my content not as dry as I know I can be, and I hope you do learn something from this game. Now, one of the things that has recently come to light is that Square Enix is coming out with a remake of Final Fantasy VII, and I, for one, am stoked for this game. I cannot wait for it to come out. Whenever the trailer came out, I about lost my mind. I wanted to jump out of my chair, throw things around, scream at the top of my lungs, because they proclaimed for so long that they would never do it, and they finally are. So for those who were never able to appreciate this game back in its time, or haven't been able to pick it up since because, you know, some sort of game came out that's just new graphics, cutting edge technology, new gameplay, hopefully this brings back some nostalgia or some sort of learning experience for those who haven't played it, and some great memories for those who have. And just to cut the chatter, I'll go ahead and start up a new game. I am on the PC version, so no, I don't have my PlayStation copy on me. It is back home in another state, back in some storage. This is a great, I want to say it's a remake, but it's not really a remake, it's a remastering of the original game brought to PC by Square Enix. And I'm really glad they did that. I know that they had it available on their website before it was available on Steam, and I got it through Square Enix before it came out through Steam. Now, starting out, you see this mysterious girl, beautiful emerald eyes, and she's I'm not exactly sure what she was doing whenever I first started playing this game, but later on it comes to light what she was doing. And as you can see, it's kind of a rustic, rundown setting. This is set in a town called Midgar. Very rustic, very kind of steampunkish almost, but archaic steampunk. Before steampunk was, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Retro, I guess. Very modern steampunk. Of course, graphics in Final Fantasy VII weren't that impressive based on what we have nowadays. Back in this day, this was magnificent. Now we start off with this train pulling up to a station, and a couple of guards. And to kick things off, a couple of bandits jump off the train, knock out the guards, kind of get you going. You have three mysterious characters to start off with, and one hulking character. And then your main character up top, Cloud Strife. Short dialogue, and we're off. Now, one of the secrets to this area is that the first guard you come across if you run up and hit the accept button, he actually has 2 potions on him, so be sure to pick those up. I'm going to run on forward and I'm going to trigger another cutscene here. We've got 2 more guards coming up, and this is your first fight scene. It's relatively easy, but if you let it go, then you're in for, if you don't know what you're doing, you want to make sure that, the battle time's slow. You want to make sure that you explore your options during this fight. Now, to cut down all fat and filler and everything, I'm not going to go through every single button and explain everything. That's for you to figure out. I'm here more to explain the lore behind Final Fantasy VII. What I'm going to do right now is go in and speed things up so we're not sitting here waiting for an hour for everything to go through. Alright. And we'll run on through here. Gotta love glitches. Wish they'd patch that. But, in the original game, you had some better quality than this. This is kind of embarrassing. But Biggs, Wedge, and, Biggs, Wedge, and Jesse, kind of introduce themselves, and you get a chance to, rename your character. His original name is Cloud Strife, and I'm gonna hold true to that. I'm gonna remain Cloud. And Cloud is kind of a sassy teenager, sassy drama queen, to start off with. He doesn't care who you are, he just wants to get things done. There we go, that cleared up some qualities. I guess it was triggered by the door. Now here you have Barrett, who is kind of a... he's a potty mouth. A lot of the major stuff that he says is, you know, scripted and to be censored out, so... and it was rated T for teen back in the day. But, you get a chance to name him. All the characters in this game, the playable characters, you get to name. Which I thought was neat. Later on in the series, they kind of pulled away from that because they did a lot of voice acting. And it's kind of hard to script a good voice acting, script a good voice, or script a good dialogue if you have custom names that they can't say. They're not going to script in, or have the voice actor say every known name in the universe, just to accommodate that. So it's almost impossible. But in Final Fantasy VII, you had the option to change your name. Now, in this first area, you're in what's known as a Mako reactor. Mako is basically the planet's energy. It's kind of like oil. However, it's not. It's more potent than oil. It's more potent than coal. But it's also something more, and we'll get more into that as we go along. Now in this first area, you come down here, and there's a kind of hidden box if you don't look for it. It's a Phoenix Down in the treasure box. Phoenix Downs aren't all that important in this game. If you know what you're doing and you pay attention, you can typically make it through without losing any of your characters mid-combat. Characters don't really die in combat, they get knocked out, and Phoenix Downs bring them back around. So, but if your entire party does get knocked out, game over. You pretty much get killed on the spot, because nobody can defend you. But in the first start here, you start off as Cloud Strife, a mercenary, jack of all trades, gets hired on by a group called Avalanche. Now Avalanche is, in the eyes of the public, a terrorist group bent on causing mayhem and havoc. That's not necessarily the case. Avalanche recognizes that the planet is suffering from draining Mako. Mako is basically the lifeblood of the planet, and Avalanche is looking to stop that. They hire Cloud on to do this mission where they're gonna sabotage the Mako reactor. And I forget what sector we're in. I want to say it's the Sector 8 reactor that we're in. It's not the 7th or the 6th. But as you run down, as you saw, JC ran in front of me, posted at a station, and ran past an item on the ground. Now, there's different items on the ground. Potions, ethers, they all have different effects. What I picked up was a potion which cures 100 HP that's been lost. HP doesn't recover between battles. You either have to rest or use items or magic to heal yourself. And you have your standard health points, mana points for each character. They have their own personal stats. I'll get into that later on. I just want this first video to be an introduction to how the game looks, just playing it. Maybe in the next video I'll go more in depth how everything works once I've unlocked more of what's going on. This video may go on for a little bit. I'll try to keep it as short as possible. But random encounters, I'm not gonna run away from any encounter. That's not how I play. I fight every battle to the end. Oh, it's on active. It's on wait. I gotta go in and change that. Now, as you saw, limit break, the limit bar filled up for Barrett, and it's flashing yellow. You get an ability unlocked over your normal attack mode called Big Shot for Barrett, and it's just a massive amount of damage in a single shot. Now, I didn't just one-shot this enemy because he has quite a bit of health compared to the other ones. But I'm gonna go ahead and change the active, or excuse me, the wait time bars after I have the potion up. You can configure how the battles are held. You can do recommended active wait. I like to do it on active. I don't like waiting. The magic order is for your the listing of your magical abilities mid-combat, and I'm gonna have it attack, restore, indirect. It's mostly attack that I use. I might use cure every now and then, but I doubt that I'll need it. Here you run into your first the materia, which materia is a condensation of Mako energy, or not condensation, but a condensed form of Mako. Materia is what unlocks your magical abilities. Each piece of materia has its own special ability, and the more you use your materia, or the more you fight with your materia equipped, the more powerful it becomes. Now, we just sent our bomb for this Mako reactor, and the first fight that we get is kind of a pseudo mini boss type deal. It is kind of a boss, has the most HP you'll come across in this first section. Now, it is a machine, so it is weak to electricity attacks. And one of my magical abilities for Cloud is Bolt. So I'm going to be spamming that through Cloud. There's a little bit of a trick to this fight. There's a certain point where you just don't want to attack this thing. As you can tell, it has a scorpion tail on the back end. Once it raises its tail, you don't want to attack it. Now, I don't know if it was scripted this way intentionally, but whenever the tail is raised, Cloud will chime in, watch out for its tail while it's watch out for its tail. Attack it while its tail is raised. That's bad advice. Don't listen to Cloud. He's an idiot. And you'll find that out throughout the game. Are you gonna do it? Are you gonna do it? Yep, he's raising his tail. You do not want to attack. You want to use this point. He'll not attack. He won't attack until a certain time goes through. I want to say it's like 30 seconds that he keeps it stuck up. You want to use your healing potion or your potion during this point, because he won't attack back. Lets you do whatever you want. Once he lowers his tail, then you can attack. But I mean, it's just a straightforward fight. Otherwise, just use your most powerful attacks. It's very, very easy to kill. No. Now, as the game goes on, the fights get harder and harder. I've got everything on the maximum speed for combat. And I might find myself having to... Well, I might get Cloud's limit break. Yep. Cloud's limit break is the braver. I won't even get to use it. Are you, Barrett? In the next fight, I'll show you what braver can do. But you kill your enemy, just enough experience for Cloud to level. You get your first assault gun, which is an upgrade for Barrett. Which, honestly, he needs it. He's kind of underpowered to start off. Now, after you fight the boss, you get 10 minutes to escape. And yes, the 10 minutes gets drained up while you're in the menus. But I'm going to go ahead and run through this. I've got plenty of time. 10 minutes is more than enough time. If 10 minutes runs out, you get a flash of white, game's over. But you can literally just walk the entire time. As you can tell, I'm walking right now. If you hold the cancel button, well, you didn't get to see it very, very well. Back attack. Is that it? Nope, nope, nope. Whatever. I'll use Braver on him. He looks weak enough. This is Braver, by the way. Strong. But you can literally waltz your way out, not even have to run anywhere, and you'll have plenty of time to get out. Honestly, I think 5 minutes would have been better for the timer, give it a little bit more challenge, but I'm not a developer, what do I know? Let's see here, config. What was I coming here config for? Oh yeah, camera angle. I don't like how the camera goes back and forth. Mid-combat, it's just distracting. Pulls your focus away. Now, as you can see, I'm walking. If you hold the cancel button, you run. I run everywhere. I don't walk for nothing. Jessie gets her leg stuck. Now, if you run by Jessie without pulling her free, you'll get all the way to the top. And Biggs will not leave without Jessie. Never leave a man behind. It's a core concept of any major group. Built on honor. But I guess that's why the producers or the manufacturers or producers, game designers, that's the word I'm looking for. I guess that's why the designers put in 10 minutes as that kind of leeway. It's like, oh, you've got Jessie, well, here's another 5 minutes to go back down and get her. So they're kind of lenient for that. Lenient with that. But the battles can get a little bit stale in the first part of the game, but that's perfectly fine. I mean, it's gonna happen with any kind of game that you're accustomed to after 15 years. You kind of want to just get through everything and get to the later parts of the game, because you know what's gonna do. I promise you, whenever you're first playing this game, it's gonna feel really awesome. You're gonna feel rushed. You're gonna want to get out as soon as possible. Take the time to look around. I mean, it's not gonna kill you. But you run out. I had 7 minutes 13 seconds. You can see Wedge down there by the door looking out. Jessie falls over again. She's a klutz. And the reactor blows up. But Dustin, if the reactor blew up, how did they survive? Surely they're dead. Well, video game logic. Because there they are, perfectly fine. Jessie's sitting there working on something. It's a bomb. She's gonna blow up the room. I mean, that's her thing. She blows things up. Perfectly fine. But Wedge gets his tail end caught on fire. Wish they had the scope of graphics back then to animate that. That would have been hilarious to see. Hopefully in the remake you get to see that. That would be really comical. All you have to do once you get out, follow Barrett out of the top of that. Pretty simple. Some neo-age movie theaters. People run around. Something just blew up. They're losing their minds. And here you run into the flower girl. Now, you're like, okay, it's a flower girl. You have a choice. You do have interactive dialogue in this game. Certain choices that you make affect certain actions of different characters. It can cause it can cause people to have different dialogue options. For the sake of this thing, I'm gonna choose the most flavor-inducing dialogue. Give you more options. Now you can sit here and read all this. I'm not gonna wait for it. If you're really interested, you can pause the video. But I'm gonna buy a flower from the flower girl. I'm a nice guy. Buy a flower girl, she says thank you. She walks on. Nothing else, just like, oh hey, this reactor exploded. Here's a flower. I want a gil. Gil being the currency in the game. It's not money or dollars or gold. It's gil. I can dig it. Now you're running through this alley and a soldier catches you. You have the option to fight him or deuces out. I'm fighting him. I don't run away. I'm not a coward. Plus, free XP and loot, right? What is annoying about this area though is it gets a little repetitive. And you don't really get far. You just kind of like stay in this one spot. That's perfectly fine. I mean, this was originally a 3-disc game. And they had a certain amount of space to work with, so they could only script so much. And, you know, release dates and all that, they have a certain amount of production time. Which is cool. I can dig it. These guys are relatively weak. They're designed to just, you know, get you in the flow of combat. They're not there to really test you. They're just to let you get used to the game. I almost wish there was a difficulty setting for this game. There isn't. You can do your own custom challenges or what have you, but I might do videos on that later on after I finish this walkthrough. But I don't know. It's always been a great game in my opinion, and it does get a lot better. Now this is your first encounter of being attacked from both sides. Earlier you saw that it was attack from behind or a preemptive attack. The great thing about this game, let's see, nope, that's not the button. Okay, I can't figure it out. For PC, there's a combination of buttons you can press that'll let you run away, and I can't quite figure them out for PC. I haven't sat down and said, hey, how do I run away in this game? Because I don't run away. But Cloud is cornered. What does Cloud do in response to that? Oh, I hear a train. Let's jump on the freaking train. Surrounded by 8 soldiers, jump on the train. Perfect good logic. I can get behind that. Next screen is you're inside the train. Barrett, Biggs, Wedge, Jesse. So then they're talking about Cloud. Like, did he get killed? Is he dead? Oh man. Barrett, of course, is just a hardened character. He doesn't care. He's just another Cloud's just another foot soldier, in his opinion. But I don't know if you can hear it in the video, but you can hear some gunshots, some wrestling around and everything. That's a fight going on upstairs. And look who it is. Cloud. Jumping in, all cool cat. Like a jerk. They're essentially having a back and forth. It's like, you're an idiot, why'd you run off, blah 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 blah. I'll let you experience the full dialogue of the game. Now, some of the dialogue going from the original scripts translated into English, there's a lot of mistakes. Goodness, there were a lot of mistakes. But you bear through it, because there's a lot of dialogue in this game. It's a really thought out, really well designed storyline, and interactive dialogue. So, of course, there's going to be mistakes in translation. It's not originally in the English game. But next scene is they're out of the cargo bunk. They're in the, I guess, the slums car, lower class car. Kind of walking around. You can converse with a couple of people. There's a hobo back in the seat. If you talk to him, this is my house, so make yourselves at home. Yuck, 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 yuck. Let's see here, Jesse. No, I don't want to talk to you. Move out of the way. You talk to Jessie. She's the one that progresses this scene here. She talks about the train system in Midgar. Now, this was something that I could never really wrap my head around, and you will find out later why. But I just don't know why this was so brought in. I guess for flavor. For story development purposes, to give you a feel of actually being a part of the city. But as I said, later on you'll find out why. It just irks me out that they put this in. But you're done looking at this. You went through the security checkpoint. Apparently they have IDs that will authenticate during through the sensors, see if there's any frauds. Pretty nifty, considering the rustic technologically advanced state of the city. You think, oh, that's not possible. Well, apparently the city has certain security measures that are more advanced than the rest of the city lets on to be. But you try to walk up, and Barrett's like, hey, you can see the skies now. You can see the upper plate. Cloud talks about it being a floating city and how unsettling it is, and Barrett's like, what? Man, you just full of surprises, ain't you? But, he blames it on pizza. Of all things, he blames it on pizza. I don't know why you're hating on pizza, man. Pretty big fella. I think you've had a few too many slices, and you're out on a personal vendetta against pizza. But here's one of the here's one of the cooler cutscenes in the game. It's just the train wrapping around the pillar of the plate. You just get this feel of, wow, this is a really huge city. Of course, scaled model back in 1997 with how big this game was. It's hard to get it perfectly to scale and, you know, get a full idea. But this was back whenever the standard definition 3-color input devices or input cables were the biggest thing. So when you see this kind of art in 1080p, it's going to look a lot clearer than it does in standard definition. Now if you come through here, you got a save point and a dude who looks like he's having a little more fun than he should, so we're going to interrupt him. But he claims to have been looking at the pillar, but let's be honest, dude, there's only one reason why you'd be in a corner with that kind of animation. For shame. Making the angels cry. Oh, why did I go through this? It's a whole ordeal. But what you just saw was the support beam, or excuse me, the pillar with the support beam and support system for that pillar. You come into this next area, and you see Barrett chase off some hoodlums in a bar, or what looks to be a bar. And you get a glimpse of the next major character in this game. The one, the only Marley. The most adorable 4-year-old you will ever see in a video game. But this is Tifa. Tifa is the third leg of the main trio of Final Fantasy VII. She's kind of... She's not... She's kind of like a mature teenager. Fiery at heart, but very experienced in I don't want to say motherly. Motherly comes to mind. I don't know why. I guess it's her caring nature. But she's one of the last people you want to take off. But in that interaction, Tifa noticed the flower that I had bought off the... That's a word. Bought off the flower girl. I gave it to Tifa. You had the choice to give it between Marlene or Tifa. I gave it to Tifa. Because... well... you'll see later on why. You might have already noticed by now, but I won't spoil it for you. Barrett and Cloud have a little back and forth, ticks off Barrett. Barrett punches Biggs, because that's what Barrett does. Okay, so Cloud wants to talk about his money. Tifa runs down, says, "No, what are you doing? Help us, save us, be the hero," etc., 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 etc. I'm with Cloud. I want to be no hero. I want to go kill things. Saving the world is just a byproduct. But here's one of the more softer points in the game. Tifa and Cloud are childhood friends. They grew up in the same hometown of Nibelheim, which you find out later on in the game. And there's a bit of a flashback back whenever they were kids, about 7 years prior to the main storyline. And I don't know why this was in the cutscene. This little interaction kind of throws people off. They're not really at this well. They're just like reminiscing about the well. But back in young teen Tifa and Cloud years, Cloud's kind of, you know, moody and just pouting off by himself, being an emo kid again. But he's got this fiery passion to become part of an elite group called Soldier, which Soldier is a militia or a military of the strongest fighters that the corporate company Shinra has at their disposal. The best of the best. You catch a glimpse of one of the most iconic characters in the Final Fantasy series, Sephiroth. Now, if you haven't played this game or don't know anything about this game, which, let's be honest, if you're watching this video right now, up to this point, and you haven't played this game, you're either A, not completely driven off by my voice, or B, very interested in this game, which, congratulations. Well, let's be honest. If you're still watching this game, you probably played this game to see how badly I screw all this up, which probably really badly am at this point. Simply because this is my first video walkthrough of anything. It's my second... No, it's not my second recorded video. I've done videos in the past, but nothing on this scale, so I'm probably terrible to listen to, and I do apologize. Hopefully this is just background noise while you're doing your homework or working on or drawing something. Hopefully I'm just nice white noise for you. But back to what I was saying, you catch a glimpse of the most iconic characters in the history of the Final Fantasy series, Sephiroth. Sephiroth is a huge player throughout this entire game. And later on you'll realize why. Hopefully, no, I don't think we'll find out why in this first video, but definitely in the second video we'll learn who Sephiroth really is. But you get 1,500 gil for a job well done. Then you and Barrett settle on an agreement of 2,000 gil for the next mission, which is the Sector 5 Mako reactor. Here you have a chance to go through how materia works. I'm not going to bore you to death with that. Again, that's something I feel like you can figure out on your own. Tifa looks to come along. So now instead of 2 characters, you get 3 in your party. I'm gonna do something real quick. You can change the order. Now, what I just did was you can change the order of your characters, how they line up. How they line up doesn't really affect much, except for this right here. You have the option to put them to the left or to the right of their portrait screen. Doing this changes their whether they're in the front line or the back line. If you're in the back line, if you're a melee character, you're going to do half damage. If you're a ranged character, it doesn't matter where you are, but melee attacks against you are halved. Now, if your enemy's in the back row and you're in the back row, I want to say they do only a quarter damage. I could be wrong. I haven't actually sat down and done that math. But I think that's what it is. But what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to situate my materia here. We've got lightning and ice. I want lightning and restore on that. And I'm going to give you ice. You shouldn't have anything, Tifa. Let's go down here. Now you've got a couple different buildings you could go in. This here's the materia shop. Another slow day. Blah, 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 blah. Yes, I'm a customer. I know you buy and sell. Fire, ice, lightning. I need fire. That gives you the 3 elements. Nice. Captain Planet over here. Through wind, fire, and ice. And love. But, no, I didn't want... Cloud, you're doing your own thing again. Stop. You go into the weapon shop. I'm gonna... Yeah. Oh my god. I didn't want to hear it. You can choose to sleep or bunker down. Pay 10 gil to rest through that kid. I gave him a gil. He said screw it. Well, okay kid. So here he's got the assault gun. Iron Bangle raises your defense. A is for attack, D is for defense. It's not gonna really matter aside from the materia slot that you get through it. Now, each weapon and defensive piece, your or your bangle or whatever, your armor or arms piece, gives you materia slots, and the more materia slots you have, the more materia you can put in, more spells you unlock, or more abilities you unlock. For intents and purposes, I'm gonna save my money, because there's not much difference. So you're he's just a little filler. Get around the kid. I'm gonna walk in through here. This is just a tutorial walkthrough. But you do get the all materia, which the all materia is a way to augment your aggressive or support, or excuse me, your combat-oriented materia to do different things. I can choose lightning all, which will deal lightning damage to all my enemies at once, or I can do restore all, which heals the entire party once. As you can see, it's got 5 different stars, an AP, and to next level quantity. The AP is, I want to say, ability points? Not, can't remember off the top of my head what AP stands for, but it's the experience points for materia. In combat, if you noticed earlier, you got XP and AP. After 1500 AP, your all materia levels up, and you get a new star. Each star represents how many times it will use that ability. So if I have 3 stars with all, and have it paired to lightning, I can lightning cast bolt against all enemies 3 times in combat. But for intents and purposes, I'm gonna do lightning all, and then give you restore. There's nothing else in here. You get another save point. Save points are a necessity later on in the game, or if you're just looking to casually progress through the storyline, use them to your advantage. You can only use tenths at any point that you could save. Run up through here. But your next mission is to blow up the Sector 5 Mega Reactor. Go back to the train station. Off to the right, you can go to the train graveyard. I wouldn't advise against it, or I wouldn't advise against it. Great proper grammar, Dustin. I wouldn't advise doing so. The enemies there are a little bit overpowered compared to your current level. It could be really hard. Of course, at the same time, it could be really good XP. Let's see here. Shinra Executive sitting in the slums car. He's sitting there fussing about it. Bear goes off on him. Shinra Executive wets himself. It's kind of funny. But the train takes off. Neat little swinging handles. One thing I was irked about in this game too was how the train's always empty. Always looks like it's just empty. But apparently our IDs don't work for security checkpoints anymore. So at some point we got to jump off the train. Yes, jumping off a moving train. Try this at home, kids. It's wonderful. Actually, don't do that. Your parents would probably sue me. But you hit the security checkpoint early. You get found out. Jesse's like, oops, I goofed. Alright. So each time you're in a cart, you only have about 15 seconds to move from cart to cart. Gives you very little time to talk to anybody. I really don't advise talking to anybody. However, in this next cart, you want to talk to one person, or else you're going to get really ripped off. You finally get to the third car. But the security checkpoint comes back up. Now this guy, he's going to steal from you. If you hear the little chink, by any chance busted? Yep. Okay. He stole some gil from you. I'd never looked to see how much, but I always catch him. Or make him give it back, because that's my money, fool. I stab you. But you get to the very end of this train to where you can't go back any farther. Everything gets locked down, so you're forced to jump out. Now, if you happen to get stuck early on, you still jump off. You're not going to lose the game if you don't make it cart to cart. But however, the farther back you are, the farther you have to go once you actually jump off. Once you jump off, you go. You get in this section of tunnel. You can move forward and move back. I've never taken the time to go all the way back to see how far I can go. I think it's just like an endless loop. Then again, I could be just talking out my rear end because I've never actually gone that far. I think I've gone back like 6 screens and still never reached the end, so I'm not gonna bother with that. Let's see here. Maybe it's just like another security checkpoint. That's probably what it is. But you go in the next section, you have this Shinra detectors, security detectors. You go through, you're gonna get, it won't let you go through, but I'm assuming like Shinra fighters just come out of the woodworks. And I clicked that button too fast. You can look down, go down, or look inside, go down, or go, don't go. Just click don't go. You're being silly if you don't. Next item that you come across is an ether just laying on the ground. It's like, gimme, 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 gimme. So just take it. Because in a ventilation shaft, no ventilation shaft is complete without your flying seahorses that just randomly attack you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Shinra. Your Shinra company. Maintaining the ventilation systems. Honey, what's that rattling? Ah, it's them darn seahorses again. Make them stop. Yes, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make seahorses stop attacking people. You climb through the ventilation shafts, go through the service, maintenance areas through here. You run into Biggs, Wedge, and Jesse at certain intervals back here. I'm just going to cut right to where I need to go. Let's bolt everything. I feel like bolting everything. Speed this up a little bit. Really? 94 points and you... Really? Huh. I don't remember these things being so tough. Apparently I have like 140 health. That's okay. Still pretty easy. Like I said, this gets a little bit tiring after a while. But, go through the maintenance shaft. There's probably an item that I'm just running by. That's okay. You don't need every single item in the world to 100% this thing. I mean, if you really want to be a completionist and get every single item in every nook and cranny, knock yourself out, because it's a really fun experience. That's not what I want to do. I think it's this way. Yeah, it's this way. You hit another save point. You just pass Jesse. You can talk to them. You can talk to Biggs, Wedge, and Jesse. It's not mandatory. It's just more flavor. Yep. More flavor for the game. I encourage anyone playing this game to listen to every bit of dialogue. You can actually learn a lot about the game, the storyline, the lore of Final Fantasy, just by talking to characters. But, so you make it through the maintenance shaft, you make it inside this reactor, you slide down just a random pole. Yeah, you don't fall off the side or anything, you just slide down a pole. On top of being a mercenary that wields a giant freaking sword, ex-soldier, you're also an acrobatic. Okay. And that's one thing that was covered early on in the game, is that Cloud was ex-soldier. Soldier being the military group for Shinra. You get more into that history as the game goes on, and it's a really great storyline. And I encourage anyone playing this game to listen to that storyline, because you learn a lot about your main character. Alternatively, if you just want to play the freaking game and just skip all the lore, it's also really fun to go through some of the more challenging fights in the game. But let's see here. This looks exactly like the first reactor you blew up. Apparently, there's one design for these things. If it works once, why do it differently for each other one, right? This is gonna be painful. I really should look into that, but whatever. And I'm referring to the runaway buttons, because when you get preemptive struck like this, you can attempt to run away if you just release the runaway buttons. I think on the PS1 it was the R2 and L2 buttons. If you just tap them both simultaneously, you'll attempt to run away and stop, but you'll be turned around facing your enemies again. So it's a good way to cancel that Here, like in the first reactor, Cloud starts having this breakdown. He has a little bit of flashback of a younger Tifa crying over her dad. And she's like, Sephiroth, Sephiroth did this to you. I'll kill him. I'll kill them all. Teenage angst. But yeah, he has this like psychotic break in the middle of a sabotage mission to blow up a reactor. Okay, Cloud, you have fun with that. You set your bomb. This time around, you don't have 10 minutes to run away. You have an unlimited amount of time, so you can relax, do your thing. I'm gonna go ahead and use a save point, not to save, but to use a tent. And you'll see why here in a minute. Why I chose to be more full. I shouldn't have used it right there. I forgot. There's another save point up here. Like I said earlier, you can only use tents at save point at times where you can save. So me using it right there was kind of ill-advised because I immediately got into another fight. That's okay. We'll make do. Now, different attacks have different effects. There's your normal attacks. There's your attacks like Smog that you just saw that will decrease characters' accuracy and slow them down. I think that's what Smog does. Then there's that Tentacle Whip, which drains life. Cloud took some damage. It healed the Hound that attacked him. Throughout the game, you will run into different enemies that have different special abilities that do different powerful things, status elements, and everything. It's a very in-depth combat system for its time. Albeit Final Fantasy VIII had an even more in-depth combat system that, to me, if Final Fantasy VII had, I think Final Fantasy VII would have been unparalleled as far as gameplay goes. Yay, they're all machines! Guess what? Bolt you all. Fiery death explosions, yeah! But, really? Only one? Weak. I guess they have a electrical coating, Faraday cage? I don't know. They are pretty tough. Now earlier you saw the limit bars max out for Barrett and Cloud, and I use their limit breaks. That's based off the damage that you take. The more damage you take in a fight, or over time, your limit bar fills up. And that limit bar stays constant throughout gameplay. There are certain times whenever it resets. It resets every time you use a limit. It resets every time you change your limit level or limit tier. And I'll go into that in another video. But over time it just fills up. Now here, you're on the other side. You need to flip the switch. This is a little bit tricky because all three buttons have to be hit at once. I'm not very good at timing, so if this takes a while, I apologize. If it takes too long, I'll just edit this out. Fail. Oh, I got it. What? There was like a total half second. Okay. I guess there's a lot more leeway to that than I thought there was. First try. But, 4, huh? Okay. I remember the first time that I did that, I was stuck for a while. I think I was stuck on it for 5 minutes trying to figure out exactly how to time it. What? 2 attacks. Hacks. But, we're about to reach the first legitimate boss fight in the game. The first major enemy that we fought in the that first reactor. It's not a true boss, it's just a hard enemy to kill. But now we're about to run our first official boss fight, and it's kind of a gimme, but also kind of a pain. So we're gonna use potions maxed out. I don't need ether. Potions heal your health. They heal your health, folks. Um, if potions heal your health, then ethers heals your mana. Um, but yeah, potions refill your health. Ethers refill your MP. Tents refill your MP and your HP. And I want to say it cures status elements. I don't know. I think it does. You can get certain status elements. Now here we run into the president of Shinra. I don't know why he decided to go to make a reactor that was about to blow up. If I was president of Shinra, I would want to stop that. Like, okay, Nimwads, you're gonna stop this. You're gonna take this bomb off, and you're going to jail. No, he's just like, bunch of scrubs. Why are you messing with my stuff? Go ahead, blow them all up. I don't care. You know what? Blow up the main Shinra building. See if I care. But, President of Shinra sicks his quote-unquote toy. Or, quote-unquote playdate. It's called a Shinra, or Soldier Air Buster, I think. Again, can be a little bit difficult to kill, but should be relatively easier. But you get an attack on both sides, so you get to deal some extra damage. Like enemies that hit you from behind, they deal double damage. If you hit an enemy from behind, it'll deal the massive amounts of damage. Bear's about to get major boost in limits. Fortunately, it was already completely full, but we're gonna use bolts. We're gonna use limits. Try to hurry this up along as much as possible. Sweet. So big shot. And braver. 604. Take that. 607. Take that. And after 2 limit breaks, he's done. He taps out and says, okay, I've had enough. You get your first armor upgrade, the Titan Bangle. But with any machines that over shorts out, it explodes. Cloud now has to hold on for dear life, as he's about to fall off. You have the choice, like, be strong or be a wimp. I'm gonna be strong. Not a wimp. But big reactor explodes. Doesn't blow up the world like the first one did, but is enough to dislodge Cloud. And he falls over 200, 300 feet, 400 feet, maybe 1,000 feet. It's a long freaking way. And apparently he's dreaming. He hears a voice. They're having a little conversation. I guess he's talking to his subconscious, or somebody else, maybe Tifa. We'll find that out later on. But guess where you are? You're in a church with the flower girl on a flower bed. Of all the places to drop from. But this is the second time you run into the flower girl, and it's not by chance. Well, I guess it's by chance. Call it destiny, fate, whatever. But you meet this character, Aerith, for the second time. And she plays a major role in this game. For those who have played this game, you're probably doing your fangirl scream right now. I don't blame you. I would. I would right now, but I have a very crappy fangirl scream. Um, yes, I remember you. I didn't hit my head as hard as I thought I did. She's tending to her flowers in a church. Um, she's sitting there talking about her materia that does absolutely nothing. Which doesn't really do nothing. It does quite a lot, and I really like it. So, after all, I don't mind. Sorry, I get really distracted by the dialogue sometimes. Huge sucker for flavor and storyline in this game, so if I pause, it's me reading the reading the dialogue. So I do apologize if that gets a little annoying. But now this is one of my major qualms with this game. That the English translators got completely wrong. They named her Eris. Really, guys? Really? Really? We're gonna change this to Aerith, because in the official release, or the official original script of the game, her name's Aerith. So we're gonna name her Aerith. It's the only name I will change. I am all about being politically correct. Now, this Joker, this background shadow, just waltzes right in. It's like, hey, you're a cute couple. I'm gonna interrupt. But he's like, no, don't mind me. I'm just here. But Aerith now is asking if you'd be a bodyguard and take her home. Damsel in distress type deal. I'm all about it. But, her form of payment apparently is a date. Now, I'm all about confidence and feeling good about yourself. But really, your form of payment is a date. Not even offering a bouquet of flowers, just straight up, you're taking me on a date. Sassy to the next level. But you have this conversation with this character. You come to find out later that his name is Reno. He's kind of the tool in this game. He's a classic comical character, and I absolutely love Reno. The flavor of his character is just spot on to what you would expect from him. But Reno's a bad guy. He brings in a couple of goons, come to take Aerith away for some unknown reason. And he notices that Cloud has Mako eyes. Now, Mako eyes, or Mako shine in a person's eyes, indicates that they were part of Soldier. It's a key trademark. And Reno notices that. Now, what I find funny right here is like, let's go after them. Oh, by the way, don't step in the flowers. Right after he stepped through the flowers. Good job, Reno. But you go into this back room, everything's torn up, so you're just gonna try to run through. Reno catches them. And while you're trying to escape, Reno's a jerk. He's gonna fire at innocent people just because. And Aerith slides down the pillar after she gets shot at, and you get separated. So now you have to find a way to protect her, or she has to fight. Now, like I said, I'm not one for running away. However, she is severely underpowered in this game to start off with. So I'm gonna do what I can to stop it. But you see a barrel up at the top, so you have the choice to tell her to hold on a minute, fight him, or run. If you tell her to run, she's gonna fight him. If she fights him, she fights him. So I'm gonna tell her to hold on. Now he sees this barrel up here, and it's a trap. It's a tarp. Choose the one back here, because this one's gonna knock over the goon, and it allows her to run away. Now, off screen, she's running about. This is all timed and everything. The next... Ah, crap, I activated a battle scene. There are enemies through here, so it can get a little bit annoying. But thankfully, they're really weak and die to bolt all. But, being able to determine which barrels go where throughout this sequence is really key, because if you get it wrong, it's just a pain. Here, you want to get this next back one. It'll roll down the stairs, catch this guy, lets her run on through. Then she's running. You're gonna want to get this next barrel, because she's gonna come up those bottom steps, so you can see at the bottom of the screen, and you'll be able to take out the last goon with this barrel. So now all you have to do is wait for her to run up. Now if I had chosen to fight or choose the wrong barrel, she would have to go into combat with these goons, which her attacks do nothing. She doesn't have any materia to start off with. It can get really annoying. Now this is what I find funny. She'll start walking like into a wall. She won't climb up on the raft. There is a way, if you run too fast up the beam, she'll like take a detour and like go to one of those side paths that runs you into a wall. She'll just sit there and walk into a wall while you're going through the animations. Kind of funny. But then again, artificial intelligence in this game was severely limited in scripting. But she goes on to talk about how she's been chased after by these goons before, which gives you a hint to why she needed a bodyguard when she saw Reno. She talks about wanting to join Soldier, then all of a sudden, you know, you're running through the rooftops and she's completely out of shape. And he's like, and Cloud's like, so you want to join Soldier, huh? You sure you got what it takes? And he talks about the eyes of eyes being infused with, eyes of a soldier, where a member of Soldier was infused with Mako. And that's what gives him the shine in the eyes. It's from him being infused in Mako. But I think this is about as far as I'm going to go. I'm going to go ahead and take it to Aerith's house. You walk through here, you're in the Sector 5 slums. You come up here and there's a side path, you want to go up there. And you're in this slums area, there's a few shops. I'll go through them in the next video. I just want to go ahead and get you to Aerith's house. Which apparently, it's hilarious because Aerith talks about the flowers only growing in the church. But there's like a ton of flowers and plants here. Already you lying to me, Aerith. Is this how it's going to be for the rest of the game? But you get a vial of ether and a materia called cover. Now cover, it's a type of materia that allows you to block. Gives you a 20% chance to block whenever another party member is attacked when you have a cover equipped. As you saw, her order was set for her to be back in the back. That's to protect her. I don't like my melee characters being in the back. Unless they have something that allows them to hit long range. But I'm gonna wrap this up here. I hope you enjoyed this first video, and I look forward to providing more information on this game in the next video. You guys have been wonderful. Till next time.